Hello, I'm Peter Bradley. I'm the director of the honors program at Ferris State University, and I'm a philosopher by training, but I've been around on the internet for a long time. I used to work in IT as a systems administrator before I went to grad school. So I've been around the internet for a while, and I've gotten to know social media quite well. And the Professional Development Committee of the NCHC, of which I'm a member, asked me to put together a series of videos. You should have already watched video one, which tells some of the history and culture of the social media networks and where they came from. And this is the first of the how-tos. So if you follow through all of these how-tos, you'll have a robust social media network to use. But whatever's right for your institution, you may mix and match. You may skip some. That's fine. This is set up to be whatever works best for you. So let's get started. We're going to start with just a quick reminder of the structure that we're working with here. We're trying to build a social media network, not just a social media presence. And what that will let us do is it'll let us write once and post everywhere. It'll give multiple access points for students to the same information. It also covers indirect audience, so parents and friends and prospective students can find your information. And in my view, the biggest and most important is analytics. Analytics, of course, will be the topic for the third session in this toolkit. But to get started, I'll show you what the structure kind of looks like in conceptual form. At the center of the structure is a blog. That blog we set up on WordPress, and it'll have page length or memo length entries, nothing greater than maybe 250 words. And then the title, which will be engaging and get people's attention, will be sent to these other sites with a link back to that blog so that it'll be sent out and then students will click the link and come back to the blog. So you want nice titles and good attractive photos to go with them, and the students can find them from any of these places and get back. If a student subscribes to the blog on email, by the way, they'll get the full content in email, so they won't come back to the blog, but they'll still get the analytics on that. Instagram is obviously very, very popular, as is Snapchat. Neither of these will get information directly from your blog. They're separate. Instagram will post to Twitter and Facebook, but it won't pull from WordPress, Twitter, or Facebook. And Snapchat, because it's supposed to be private, is its own world. So this is the basic structure that we're going to be doing. Blog in the center, Google, Facebook, Twitter connected, Instagram on the side, but connected back to Twitter and Facebook. And the first thing we're going to do, it seems kind of strange because we're not starting in the center, but the first one we're going to do is Google. And we're going to set up the Google account, and everything will link through that. So we start with Google, we set up Google+, then we go to Twitter, then we go to Facebook, and then when we're done with everything else, Instagram and Snapchat, we come back and set up the blog. I know it's backwards, but that's the way that these systems work. There are two other things that we should think about before we get started with the installation. First, we need to think about your brand. So you'll need a handle, some word or phrase that can be used as a URL. And the second is you'll need a couple of images. You'll need a small image for your profile pic and a large image for the background. For the brand, the handle, this is what I'm talking about. We have it here in the Facebook URL, in the Twitter URL, and in the blog URL. For the images, your profile pic will be, about 200 by 200 pixels. It'll appear at the header of all of your images and when you post. And then your header or cover image, your background image, can be placed at the top of your profile. Now, I will note that all of these standards change constantly, so the best thing to do is just find a website that is current. This is one that I use, and it will tell you what size those images are supposed to be. But Twitter just changed their profile pics from squares to circles. You'll see in these videos, some of them are taped when they were squares, some of them were taped when they were circles. And this is what the companies do. They change it constantly. So try to stay up with current trends by reading blogs, and that's the best you can do. Okay, so to get started, we're going to go all the way back to the beginning. And before we can set anything up, we have to decide what our identity is going to be in these systems. So we're going to look for a good name to work with. In my system, for my own program, I use ferrishonors.com, which is Ferris Honors as a string for all the usernames on the system. But ferrishonors.com is the root blog. So if you want to check it out, Google Ferris Honors, one word, all lowercase, and you'll find our site. I'm currently collaborating with the Office of Community Outreach at Ferris to implement a similar communication structure that will offer opportunities to parents and caregivers of the college-bound student. We're trying to raise awareness of some of the career programs we promote, as well as break some of the self-selection that tends to happen along gender and ethnic lines. For example, we're trying to get women into STEM fields in our College of Engineering Technology and getting men into nursing and other caring fields in our College of Health Professions. In these how-to videos, I'm going to use this initiative in order to show how to set up the system. The first step is to figure out a handle that has not been used by anybody else. And as always, we start with Google. Okay, so here we are at Google. We're going to search Ferris Outreach. Okay, it looks like they're already using it for fundraising. Let's see, student, yeah. Okay, let's try it without a space just in case. Yep, sorry. Okay, here we go. Yep, let's put in an H there and then we'll look. Okay. Yeah, somebody's already on it with Facebook. It's not affiliated with the university, but we can't use that. So let's try it again. This time, let's do Ferris State Community Outreach. Yeah, we're still getting fundraising. It looks like we're probably going to stay away from outreach. Let's go back to the press release and see. Okay, community is good. Maybe we can find just community, Ferris State Community. That's our doctorate in community college leadership. We can't step on that. Let's try engagement. Yeah, political engagement project, student engagement. These are people we collaborate with. This might work. Let's see. What do we put in community? First is athletics. Probably not. Oh, here's something that is directly related to us. Okay, this is good. Community engagement is working. Okay, so the next step is to look at the offices we work with and see if they use that kind of language. One of the things we're working with is TEA, Tech Initiatives, so we look for TEA with Ferris. Yep, this is the kind of thing we're looking for. Okay, community engagement looks pretty good. Off-campus outreach, this is exactly right. This is who we're working with. Okay, so we want something with engage. Let's try Ferris Engage. Does that work? There's nothing here that will conflict with us. Let's try it backwards. Engage Ferris. Let's try Engage Ferris. Engage Ferris. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Campus Compact. That's us. Beyond Globalization. That's us. Organizational Consultants. Congressional Set. This looks pretty good. Okay, so now we got to check the other sites to see if it's been used as a handle. Let's start with Twitter. We type Twitter Engage Ferris. Okay, let's go check Twitter directly. This would just search if there was a username. Let's check Twitter directly. So Twitter, we'll click on Twitter. And okay, so we go to the search box and let's put in Engage Ferris. Okay, so now we have to check the other sites. Let's start out with Facebook. All right, I'm going to go to Google and put in facebook.com/Engage Ferris. That would be if there was already a page that used that phrase. So facebook.com/Engage Ferris. And no, we don't have anything there, so that's good. Another way to do this is to search with the colon. So this will search the whole facebook.com site for the phrase Engage Ferris. And again, we don't see anything that would be problematic, so that's good. Now, the main site for this project is going to be on WordPress. So we want to make sure that engageferris.wordpress.com is not already taken. And it's not. That's good. It's still breaking it up and showing me other things. So let's try engageferris.com. And yet, nothing there either. Okay, so the full internet name database is searchable by whois. If you just type in whois, you'll find this ICANN whois, and you can go there and search, and it will show you if anybody reserved that name or anybody has used that name. So we're doing it here for Engage Ferris, and we got to make sure we're not a robot. And yes, there is no domains found, and nobody's using that name, so it is well and truly ours. Couple more. We're going to need a Google account, so let's make sure there's not a Gmail account under that name. So engageferris@gmail.com, search. And no, we don't see anything that would be of concern. And just to double check, let's do it with quotes. Oh, whoops, I used Google. It should be Gmail here. Okay. Yeah, nothing there to worry about. Oh, and finally, let's just try the phrase engage Ferris itself and see if we come up with anything that might conflict. Okay, good, excellent. Now that we've got our brand, it's time for us to move on and set up the Google account. So this is the end of the first video, and we're going to the next Toolkit video, which is Google. See you there.